welcome. My name is Jack and I'm over an hour into Redshirt, a very unique game looking at social networking, and of course it's set in space. This is a very humorous take on social networking. The game has you choose a character from several different races and forces you to build relationships and go through a career path to try and become one of the most popular and successful people on this space station. It's very humorous in the way they do that. I'll talk a bit more about that later. But the gameplay knuckles down to taking several actions per day, where you get to choose who you would talk to, or what you might buy, what events you'd go to, or how would you prepare for your career. There's so many variables to take into account with this, so many different options. That gives the game a high replayability, and there is quite a bit of depth. There's a greater story taking place. I won't talk about it, but it doesn't take over the gameplay. You have the time to really look at the different friendships you've got, look at the different items there are, and work your way throughout the game. It probably would take a good hour to really get a grip of how the game works. It took me about an hour, maybe an hour and a quarter. But after that, I really knew what my goals were, how I needed to achieve that as well. The game runs in a browser-style interface, and therefore most computers should be able to run this game totally fine. And you'll spend most of your time working your way through the interface, responding to notifications, sending messages, going to events, and then discovering the new activities, events, and different possibilities. And it's kind of a problem I had with the game, and that's of information overload. There were so many screens and screens of text, all fighting for my attention. And at the start, I was very overwhelmed to try and pick out what needed my attention and what was just unnecessary. A good example of that is choosing an event. There are several categories, and then by picking one, you might have many events within that. And to really make the best decision, you need to stop playing the game and go through each of them, reading what the options are and figuring out which one's best. And that might annoy some people, having to spend the time to do that, but maybe you might not be so bothered by that, and that would be great. Giving you so many options is kind of the benefit and the downside of the game. Some people love depth, some people don't. And so this game is very unique, and I think it's best to watch some gameplay videos to see if this game is suited for you. What I do love about the game though is its great, funny, humorous take on work and social networking. There are so many funny quotes and stories told throughout the story and the game, which is really obvious from your first job you have as transporter, accident, cleanup technician. Obviously things go well on this space station. Or how you can do vague booking in the game, where you just post random quotes of song lyrics or feelings. It's very unique, this game. It's not going to be suited for everyone, but for what it tries to achieve, it does very well. It's definitely one of the most unique games I've played this year. I found myself always wanting to play the one more turn, one more day to see how my actions would play out in the system. The game is available on Steam, on Windows, Mac and Linux, with an iPad version on the way. Feel free to ask any questions about the game below. I hope you enjoyed this video and that it helped you in understanding what Redshirt's all about. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.